Good morning, Ribhu Gita, chapter 44, the last chapter. Extolling the greatness of this text with profound meditation as the primary means for obtaining the grace of the Supreme Shiva. Verse 1. For the benefit of all, for all time, the Immaculate Sage Ribhu continued further, affectionately addressing Nidaga, who had received the undivided supreme knowledge without a second, and who had thus become instantly rid of all the bondage and attachment by the Guru's exhortation, and who was enjoying pure, supreme bliss. Morning, Miles. 2. Son, you have achieved your goal by attaining the highest undivided knowledge, with all the impressions of the world effaced, and thus having reached the state of liberation while yet alive, Jivan Mukti, replete with non-dual bliss. Listen now to the method by which all the intelligent seekers in this world after liberation daily and assiduously practice meditation in complete concentration until the cascading compassion of the Supreme Shiva touches you. 3. I indeed am of the nature of imperishable existence. I indeed am of the nature of blemishless consciousness. I indeed am of the nature of the mass of bliss. I indeed am of the nature of the one undivided essence. I indeed am of the nature of the undivided Supreme Self. I indeed am of the nature of the blemishless Supreme Shiva. I indeed am the undivided Supreme Shiva. Thus steadfastly should one constantly, profoundly meditate. I am indeed of the nature of Brahman, the attributeless. I am indeed of the nature of Brahman, the blemishless. I am indeed of the nature of Brahman, the partless. I am indeed of the nature of Brahman, the actionless. I am indeed of the nature of Brahman, the motionless. I am indeed of the nature of Brahman, the taintless. I am indeed the all-pervasive Brahman. Thus, steadfastly, should one constantly, profoundly meditate. 5. I am indeed of the nature of Brahman, afflictionless. I am indeed of the nature of Brahman, the veilingless. I am indeed of the nature of Brahman, the intersticeless. Miles, maybe you can write what is interstice. I indeed am of the nature of Brahman, the all-pervasive. I indeed am of the nature of Brahman, the fearless. I indeed am of the nature of Brahman, the unsurpassed. I indeed am the peerless Supreme Brahman. Thus steadfastly should one constantly, profoundly meditate. 6. I am indeed of the nature of Brahman, the eternal. I am indeed of the nature of Brahman, the unmoving. I am indeed of the nature of Brahman, the truth. I am indeed of the nature of Brahman, the unwavering. I am indeed of the nature of Brahman, the non-dual. I am indeed of the nature of Brahman, without a thing apart. I am indeed the Supreme Brahman. Thus, steadfastly, should one constantly, profoundly meditate. 7. I am indeed of the nature of Brahman, the indestructible. I am indeed of the nature of Brahman, ageless. I am indeed of the nature of Brahman, bondageless. I am indeed of the nature of Brahman, the indivisible. I am indeed of the nature of Brahman, permanent. I am indeed of the nature of Brahman, non-attached. I am indeed the dear Supreme Brahman. Thus steadfastly should one constantly, profoundly meditate. 8. I am indeed of the nature of Brahman, which is all. I am indeed of the nature of Brahman, which is none of all. I am indeed of the nature of Brahman, which is defectless. I am indeed of the nature of Brahman, the one absolute. I am indeed of the nature of Brahman, the mass of bliss. I am indeed of the nature of Brahman, the pure absolute. I am indeed the blemishless Supreme Brahman. Thus steadfastly should one constantly, profoundly meditate. 9. I am indeed of the nature of Brahman, which is all the truth. I am indeed of the nature of Brahman, the eternally blissful. I am indeed of the nature of Brahman, which is all consciousness. I am indeed of the nature of Brahman, which is the space of consciousness. I am indeed of the nature of Brahman, which is all goodness. I am indeed of the nature of Brahman, which is only myself. I am indeed the blemishless Supreme Brahman. Thus steadfastly should one constantly, profoundly meditate. 10. I am indeed of the nature of the Supreme Brahman, eternal. I am indeed of the nature of the Supreme Brahman, pure. I am indeed of the nature of Brahman, knowledge. I am indeed of the nature of Brahman, completely liberated. I am indeed of the nature of Brahman, unmoving. I am indeed of the nature of Brahman, the mind, Chitta. I am indeed the blemishless Supreme Brahman. Thus steadfastly should one constantly, profoundly meditate. 11. What avails this variety of expressions? It is only to those who, in adherence to the axioms of the great aphorisms of Vedanta, continuously meditate with love, without confusion, for a considerable period, that I am ever the undivided Supreme Brahman. And that undivided Supreme Brahman is myself alone, without any notions of differentiation. That the rare compassion of the Supreme Shiva will be able to flow, and the blissful supreme knowledge, awareness, will result. 12. Therefore, with all assiduousness, all seekers after liberation should learn in due manner, in the presence of the Guru, the definition of the originless, undivided meaning of the great aphorisms of the crest of the Vedas. Reflect on them, continuously meditate on them, uninterruptedly, and by the helpful grace of Shiva, attain undivided knowledge, and thereby abide ever in the bliss of liberation. 13. If the disciple who has duly imbibed the undivided knowledge in the presence of the Guru, does not worship the Guru due to intense greed, though possessed of wealth and such, he will be inescapably consigned to the hell, to the gruesome hell, Kumbhipaka and others. Hence the Master should be worshipped daily with offerings, body and soul. 14. Thus have I lovingly told you, blemishless Nidaga, the limitless, undivided Supreme Shiva knowledge, in the manner the embodiment of grace, the Lord Ishvara, brought forth for the benefit of all. Those who listen to it in the manner explained and attain this undivided knowledge that destroys all bondage will be instantly rid of all shackles, such as thought and others, and become the undivided Supreme Consciousness. 15. Hearing the exhortation of the Guru in this manner, the exalted Nidaga eulogized him and, abounding with love, offered home and family and all to the Guru, and also himself as a son, besides all other wealth, grain, and all other articles, offered in love with the pouring of a liberation, besides all other wealth, grain, and all other articles, offered in love with the pouring of a libation of water to consummate that offering, and then poured forth paeans of praise thus. 16. Glory to you, my Sadguru, my true Guru, who has with natural ease carried me across the originless ocean of sorrow, of worldly existence in which I was submerged, by the ferry of knowledge, to the far shore of the immemorial Supreme Brahman. Glory to you, my Guru, who has inspired me, submerged in several severe sorrows, thinking that I am the perishable body, into realizing that I am the afflictionless Supreme Brahman, and conferred undivided bliss on me. 17. Glory to you, my Sadguru, my true Guru, who has taught me that all is the undivided Brahman, and that I am, and removed all doubt, such as this world is real and I am insentient. Glory to you, my Sadguru, who has, by conferring the worthy, undivided supreme knowledge on me, long submerged in illusion, and in the whirl of thought that the erroneous path of action would enable me to reach the goal, make me verily that itself. 18. Glory to the Guru, of the nature of the undivided Absolute, who has appeared as an embodiment of grace, and who has taken me into your grace. Glory to the Guru, who is eminently fitted to be the rare refuge in all the varieties of worlds. Glory to the Guru, who is blemishless, partless, peerless, and pervasive, without a pause. Glory to the Guru, who is the Supreme Shiva, the higher than the highest, the Supreme Self, the Supreme Brahman. 19. Glory to you, true Guru, the blemishless, shining as the originless, undivided nature manifest. Glory to you, true Guru, the taintless, undivided supreme knowledge. Glory to you, Supreme Guru, who transcending the taintless knowledge, tower as the changeless. Glory to you, the realized, the equanimous, the totally non-attached. 20. Glory to the Guru, who is a mass of existence, consciousness, bliss. Glory to the Guru, the motionless, the peaceful, Glory, more glory, the eternal, the attributeless. Glory to the taintless. Glory to the infinite expanse. Glory, pervasive as that which is subtle. Glory to the Guru, the perfectly full and non-dual. Glory to the Supreme Guru, the undivided. 21. The Guru then addressed the sage Nidaga, who had thus surrendered all as Guru Dakshina, offerings to the Guru, and engaged himself in matchless service, while expressing his eulogies in humble, unwavering devotion. I am highly pleased because you have been spontaneous with your services. My son, there is nothing left for you to do. You are indeed blessed. 22. Son, you have attained intense, steadfast, complete knowledge of the Supreme Brahman. With all the illusory woe of the wearisome worldly existence eliminated, you have become Brahman, consciousness bliss. Though this is true, pursue the I am Brahman certitude ardently and pauselessly, day after day, and abide in your natural state until you attain Videha Mukti, that is disembodied liberation. 23. Anything apart from total intense I am Brahman certitude does not contribute to liberation. It is the intense I am Brahman certitude alone that is the cause of the supreme undivided liberation. Only for those who devotedly practice the total, intense, focused I am Brahman certitude day after day does the rare state of liberation result easily by that total, intense I am Brahman certitude. 24. Only the differenceless I am Brahman certitude will confer undifferentiated, undivided, supreme liberation. There is no doubt of this. It is the truth. In the name of both feet of Shiva, this is the truth indeed. Hence, by beneficially resorting daily to the I am Brahman certitude as described, all seekers after liberation should realize the undivided truth and thereby attain liberation. 25. There is nothing except this treatise specified for obtaining the changeless, steadfast I am Brahman certitude. That is the means for defectless, undivided, supreme liberation. Is there anything to compare with this treatise, personally propounded by the Supreme Shiva directly in front of me? This treatise is indeed the essence of all the widespread works in all the multiplicity of worlds. "26. This is the good essence of all kinds of Vedas. This is the good essence of the crest of all the Vedas. This indeed is the essence of all the variety of treatises. This is the essence of all the epics. This is the essence of all the variety of a Guru's grace. This indeed is the essence of all japa, mantra repetition, and tapas, intense spiritual practice. This indeed is the essence of all varieties of worlds. This indeed is the great essence of everything that exists." 27. This is the liberation from all kinds of births. This is the liberation that is easy to attain for all. This is the liberation that is painless in all ways. This is the liberation that is ever blissful. This is the liberation that transcends senses of all kinds. This is the liberation that is ever complete. This is the liberation that is the essence of all. This indeed is the liberation that is ever sovereign. 28. This indeed is the liberation of becoming consciousness alone by listening and contemplating and such. This is indeed the liberation of becoming that alone by eschewing the undulating mental misconceptions of the wide world. This is indeed the liberation of existing without attributes by rejecting the phenomenal world. This is indeed the liberation that is the mass of existence, consciousness, bliss alone. 29. For the benefit of all, and in the manner expounded in compassion by the divine auspicious form of the Lord Ishvara, I have thus explained this great treatise for the attentive Sukha and other great sages, keeping you as the reason, so that it sinks into their thoughts. All these who have listened to it thus have become that itself by the undivided supreme knowledge. 30. As Ribhu made this majestic declaration, addressing all, Nidaga, with unconcealed joy, was bathed in an ocean of bliss. Hearing the beautiful Ribhu Nidaga conversation, Sukha and all the other sages, attaining the realization of the Supreme Brahman that is free of bondage to the body, became of the nature of that Supreme Brahman without bondage. 31. Then all the great sages, bowing in joy and affection to Sage Ribhu, said, Bondageless Supreme Guru, what shall we say of your compassion that has conferred on us the limitless, undivided supreme bliss by teaching us today about the ocean of undivided knowledge in the manner expounded by the Supreme Shiva himself in his compassion. 32. Changeless Master, you have taken us, who have taken refuge in your feet, into your grace, ferrying us across the ocean of originless ignorance and worldly sorrow, in the boat of instruction in Brahman knowledge, to attain supreme bliss on the shores of the Supreme Brahman, and protecting us from further onslaughts of the misery of mundane existence. 33. Hence you are indeed our Father, indeed the Mother, you are indeed all the wonderful relatives there may be. You are the helpful good friend, you are the helpful good Guru, you are indeed the friend, you are all, praising and bowing thus with cool minds, the scorching mundane misery quenched, and in a state of pure consciousness and pure bliss. They reveled, unperturbed, in the ocean of undivided, originless, endless bliss. 34. Sage Ribhu, having elevated Nidaga and other sages to the nature of the Absolute, by his discourse to them on the systematic teaching that he obtained by the compassion of the Lord Ishvara on Mount Kailash, remained in endless bliss. Likewise, I, Skanda, have graced you, Jaigishava, with this. Now I shall proceed to grace you with the subtleties of the various aspects of this knowledge. Listen. 35. All the individuals, the jivas, in this world, created in the world as Brahmins and others, should, to begin with, perform actions prescribed in the Vedas. While they do so as laid down in the crest of the Vedas, they should always wear the divine ash as prescribed, without any uncertainty. There should not be the slightest indifference about this. 36. Having smeared well all the limbs with ashes, and similarly wearing the triple stripe, and adorning the head and other parts with circlets of holy berries, rudraksha, as prescribed, great sage, they should, reciting the Rudra, the hymn of Rudra, and the Panchakshara, the five-syllable mantra to Shiva, and other exalted mantras, properly worship the manifest great linga, the monolithic symbol of Shiva, daily. 37. Just like the worship of the Lord, worship of the devotee should also be zealously performed every day, so long as the body lasts. They should reside in a renowned holy Shaivite pertaining to Shiva center, and tirelessly ever sing the pure name of Shiva, and also contemplate upon the highly exalted form of Shiva in the company of his consort. 38. Those who are fit to learn the Vedas should faultlessly do everything prescribed for them. Others who are not thus fit, such as the lower castes, should also render service or do such other action unfailingly as laid down, and taking recourse to the wearing of the pure ashes, reside always unwearied in some sacred Shaivite pertaining to Shiva spot. 39. As all the people in the world have the right to wear the worthy ashes, ceaselessly wear the Rudraksha, sing the hallowed name of Shiva, meditate upon the great Lord Maheshvara, and stay in a sacred spot free of constraints. All the seekers after liberation in this world should duly perform the actions prescribed here. 40. Venerable sage, all these aforesaid actions may be called the great adjuncts to knowledge. Only those who resort to listening and such, in addition to these adjuncts, shall attain by the grace of the Supreme Shiva the undivided knowledge without beginning or end, and thereby rid of their ignorance and the originless fearsome bondage of worldly existence, abide as the nature of the indivisible Supreme Brahman. 41. Only those who wear the triple stripes of ashes acquire the unquestioned authority for inquiring into Vedanta. Others will not become so authorized. The crest of the Vedas proclaims so. Is there any canon contrary to the dictum of the Vedas? Hence one should acquire the said authority and then embark on the inquiry into the undivided Absolute. 42. Brass sage, though one be a steadfast recluse, well trained in tranquility, control of the senses and such, but without wearing all over his limbs the holy ashes, he cannot become eligible for inquiry in this investigation, even if he takes to such inquiry. Being without the grace of the Supreme Shiva, he will not attain uninterrupted knowledge of the Supreme Brahman. What is said is definite, there is no doubt of this. 43. What avails a surfeit of statements? Only those who conform to the adjuncts of knowledge, as aforesaid, and unwaveringly inquire into this treatise, will attain the steady knowledge of this treatise emanating from Shambhu, the the bestower of happiness, and thereby, attaining such knowledge, attain undivided bliss, and become the undivided Absolute. Thus Shamukta explained this incomparable treatise. 44. Sutta, following in the same vein, graced all the great sages with the narration of this treatise, listening to this eminent treatise, and steadfast in the knowledge of the Supreme Brahman, filled with consciousness, and enjoying divine bliss. All those sages in steadfast commitment turned to the Guru with undiminishing love, and praising him in all humility, became that itself, and revelled in their natural state. The sage Sutta, explaining this treatise on the undifferentiated to all the sages in this manner, made them all embodiments of the differenceless Supreme Brahman, and turning to the mass of knowledge, the Supreme Shiva, with perfectly full love, and eulogizing him in all humility, abided in the undivided, beginningless, endless ocean of bliss. '46. This treatise will drive out all illusory differences. This treatise will turn one into the taintless Supreme Brahman. This treatise will confer the fearless state. This treatise will usher in unsurpassed bliss. The number of stanzas in this wonderful treatise is 1964. All seekers after liberation should discard all manner of works and ardently turn to this treatise. 47. Obeisance to the twin feet of the great sage Sutta, who has narrated this treatise. Obeisance to the twin feet of Vyasa, who faultlessly explained this to him. Obeisance to the twin feet of the great exalted sage Jaigisharya, who raised this topic. Obeisance to the twin feet of Shanmuka, who expounded and explained all this to that sage. 48. Obeisance to the felicitous feet of the mother, who in all grace taught this to him. Obeisance to the feet of the blemishless Nidaga, and all the exalted sages who responded with queries. Obeisance to the feet of the matchless sage Ribhu, who dispelled their dark ignorance with this exposition. Obeisance to the feet of the Supreme Shiva, higher than the highest, who in his love taught him, Ribhu, all this. 49. Glory to the Supreme Nature, which is the substratum of all. Glory to the non-dual nature, which is devoid of all. Glory to the Supreme Nature, which is the blemishless fourth state. Glory to the Supreme Nature, which transcends the fourth state. Glory to the Supreme Nature, which is undivided, untouched by I. Glory to the Supreme Nature, which is not different from your own self. Glory to the Supreme Nature, which is unparalleled. Glory to the Supreme Nature, which is all-pervasive. 50. Glory to the Supreme Nature, which is a mass of truth, knowledge, bliss. Glory to the Supreme Nature, which is changeless and peaceful. Glory to the Supreme Nature, which is devoid the knowledge of that. Glory to the Supreme Nature, which stands alone, full of that itself. Glory to the Supreme Nature, which is motionless like a rock. Glory to the Supreme Nature, which is taintless and partless and blemishless. Glory to the Supreme Nature, which is ever without a second. Glory to the Supreme Nature, which is the Mighty One, the Supreme Brahman. 51. Glory to the Supreme Nature, which is truth, knowledge, bliss. Glory to the Supreme Nature, which is complete and perfectly full. Glory to the Supreme Nature, which is complete and perfectly full. Glory to the Supreme Nature, which is eternal knowledge bliss. Glory to the Supreme Nature, which is taintless and attributeless. Glory to the Supreme Nature, which is without a trace of duality. Glory to the Supreme Nature, which is one expanse of consciousness. Glory to the Supreme Nature, which is non-dual. Glory to the Supreme Nature, which is the Self. Glory to the Supreme Nature, which is the undivided. 52. It is the infinite form of our Lord of Ambika in a state of joyous dance that, to start with, explains that by courageous, concentrated, profound meditation, as conveyed by the caring guide, those with the good grace of the Lord can attain liberation, and concludes by extolling the exquisite grandeur of this exalted treatise. Thus concludes the Ribhu Nidaga dialogue in part 6 of the Sanskrit epic Shiva Harasham, translated in Tamil by Tiruvidai Marudur Sri Bhikshu Sastrigal, also known as Ulaganatha Swamigal, and entitled the Ribhu Gita. And with this ends the Ribhu Gita, the Song of Ribhu, translated by who is it? Ramamurti and Nomi, an American man. So thank you for joining. There's 3 people here. There is Miles and Suze, I imagine, is here. And who else is here? Who else is here? I'm just for my curiosity. Or maybe you can let me know. So thank you very much. Have a great day. Bye.